Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jay here, and we are finally back with episode 2 to my long awaited reaction debunk series. Yes, clap it up. We are finally back to this shit. And surprisingly enough, in today's video, we are not going to be reacting to Luffy versus Naruto Part 2 by the homie Idea Shock, but instead, we'll be reacting to Madara versus Aizen by Death Battle. Death Battle is a very popular power scaling YouTube channel, probably the most popular power scaling YouTube channel, actually, but one that I do think is wrong most of the fucking time. So, yeah, I do just want to sort of react to this video, Madara versus Aizen, a very popular and contentious topic, and sort of see what Death Battle thought about it and see if I can give them my 2 cents.
Quality no matter where you go or what you do.
Okay, so right off the bat, I am not sponsored by Raycon, so I am skipping this shit. No disrespect to Raycon now. I'll push it back to here.
15% off site-wide.
God damn it.
Madara Uchiha, the legendary messianic shinobi from Naruto.
The fuck does messianic mean?
The Soul Reaper who stood upon the heavens from Bleach.
We may dream of glory, but these two have the will to power to take it by force and claim a seat among the gods.
They're the biggest, baddest anime bosses around, and not even death can stop them. Ghost versus zombie. Let's go.
I mean, death can't really stop Aizen, the motherfucker immortal, but Madara done died like 6 times, so I'm not sure about that one.
I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Endless destruction, countless dead, a plot to conquer the planet. The ninja world was at war.
For the fourth fucking time. Oh, took the words right out my mouth. Thank you, Boomstick. Shit.
From beyond the grave.
The same man who orchestrated this war in the first place in order to end all wars forever. Madara Uchiha.
Seems a bit
From
counterintuitive.
birth, war was the only thing the young Madara knew, and there was no ninja he liked fighting more than Hashirama Senju. They're basically ninja Romeo and Juliet.
No, the fuck they
Belonging
are
to
not.
opposing clans, Madara and Hashirama were forced to battle.
I think they're just going over his biography right now, so let's just stop to read some of this shit. Full name, Madara Uchiha, height 5'10". All right, it's already not looking too good for Madara. Bro was short. In fact, I feel like I could beat his ass now. I'm 6'1". No, I'm joking. Yeah, but this seems to be just his biography. Weight, 157, former leader of the Uchiha clan, co-founder of Konoha, blah, blah, blah. Shit, we already know.
Battle each other for years, all the while dreaming of a better future.
Their bromance
Hold on, hobbies
eventually
5D chess. What is this nigga Madara
their
on,
clans'
bro?
differences and the two groups merged, creating the village of Konoha.
But Madara wasn't satisfied with Hashirama's dream of peace through cooperation. He desired an immortal peace through total domination.
Everyone
Because he
else
was an
thought that
asshole.
was crazy, so he bounced, and then he came back to wage war against the village he helped build. Well, that didn't last long, huh?
Madara's megalomania was perhaps faded, considering he is in fact the reincarnation of the demigod Indra Otsutsuki and the inheritor.
But was that nigga Indra really a demigod, though? Like, he was really just a demi-human, because the motherfucker was really just an alien. So, right off the bat, y'all wrong again.
Of his immensely
Like,
powerful
shit, do
chakra.
better Death Battle. I'm
Basically,
joking.
physical and
Fuck.
spiritual energy that makes ninja magic. Madara specializes in fire and wood style jutsus, which just seems irresponsible to put those together, like a gender reveal party waiting to happen.
His wood is especially impressive, considering it's
Pause.
the only style of elemental jutsu that can create life. Why are you looking at me like that?
Madara can even use his Gunbai to absorb
Okay, so they're
ninjutsu
alluding to
and
that being
return
wrong.
it right back to sender. You know you're a badass when you can take on armies with just a friggin' fan.
Madara has torn apart hordes of ninja without breaking a sweat, taken a beating from every tailed beast at once, and even defeated the
Okay, I don't know why they going over bro whole fucking lore right now, and why they just talking about like his whole backstory and past, but kind of starting to piss me off. I'm not gonna lie.
5
Can we get to the
Kage,
power
some of
scaling?
the strongest shinobi in the world.
The Raikages even stated to be fast enough to move at
Oh,
light
here we are.
speed. And even weaker ninja like Orochimaru have dodged literal photon beams.
But
Okay, all right. I do think this is an improvement from other death battle videos right off the bat. Just because they have lower tier characters in Naruto having these light speed feats, whereas in earlier videos such as Ichigo versus Naruto and shit like that, they had only the god tiers being at like fucking light speed due to like Madara's light fang and shit like that.
But Madara's greatest tool is the one born from his very bloodline, the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. These magical eyes massively enhance his perception down to the cellular level, allowing him to predict
let's read this
movements.
shit, guys. Sharingan, increased precision and accuracy, limited precognition, see chakra flow, jutsu copying, genjutsu illusions, Izanagi and Izanami. Okay. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, perfect Susanoo, dual swords, Yasaka Maga Tama, whatever the fuck that is, and Evil Disturbance Waltz, whatever the fuck that is too.
See the flow of chakra and summon the mighty perfect Susanoo.
The Sharingan can also cast a genjutsu that'll trap anyone that looks at it in an illusion and even break them.
Okay, so whether or not you have to look directly at the Sharingan to be captured within the genjutsu is vague. Because I believe it's stated somewhere within the novels that just by looking at me, I can put you in a genjutsu by Itachi. You don't actually have to look him in the eyes. But I do think that's a bit contentious, and I'm not too sure on it myself. But yeah, I do think it is something worth discussing.
Break them out of those same illusions.
In Sasuke's case, even one's as strong as Itachi's Tsukuyomi, which can warp your perception of time. Itachi used it on a fellow Uchiha and made her live out her entire life in the span.
Okay, so basically right here, they're just showing that it does a lot more than just warp your perception of time, right? Within this like Tsukuyomi world, Itachi has complete control over time, space, matter, etc. And I think they're about to bring up him killing his girlfriend to like prove this point. So yeah.
Span of 1/100th of 1/1000th of 1/1,000,000th of a second.
And when she died in the illusion, she died for real. If Sasuke could break out of it, Madara could too, easily.
Yeah, so that's some pretty
And
OP
after grafting
shit.
some of Hashirama's cells onto himself, he now
Would always have a piece of his Romeo inside him.
Again
This is
with
my
this shit,
ship,
bro.
Wiz. Stop looking at me like that.
He
Thank you
not
for looking
only
at him
gained
like
a
that,
healing
Wiz.
factor
Fuck.
strong enough to regenerate from having half his body vaporized, but also the terrifying Rinnegan.
AKA the big
Let's
chungus
see what
of
they got
all
for the
eye
Rinnegan.
magic.
I just punched the shit out my mic. All right, Rinnegan. Deva Path, attractive and repulsive forces. Summons meteors. Human Path, reads minds and pulls out souls. Predator Path, absorbs chakra. Naraka Path, integration and restoration. Ashra Path, cyborg augmentation. Animal Path, summons monsters. Outer Path, summons demonic statue. I think the demonic statue resurrects the dead, doesn't it? Something like that. And Black Receiver and Border Gel are the last two things listed. I think the Border Gel is like his limbo clones or some shit.
Magic. The ringy eyes let Madara absorb chakra and ninjutsu, create invisible limbo clones, see and remove your soul from your body, and summon giant-ass meteors, as if he needed any more fucking powers.
While the Rinnegan lacks some of the Sharingan's
While Madara has not shown all these 6 paths abilities granted by the Rinnegan, they have been used by Nagato, there's a period there. Therefore, he should be capable of them. Okay.
unique abilities, he can switch between them
I agree
at
with that.
will.
After tearing the ninja world a new asshole, Madara was finally
Given his use of hand seals, uncommon for dojutsu techniques, and their identical shapes and sizes, Madara likely creates meteors with chakra instead of pulling them from outer space. Okay, I disagree with you on that one. Heavy. What the fuck? What the fuck? Where is this stated? It's stated that the Rinnegan controls repulsive and attractive forces, so therefore it's more logical to assume via the Rinnegan's power he's attracting these meteors to fucking Earth. But if you want to say he creates them from thin air or some shit like
finally
that, bro,
defeated in a climactic
that's fair.
battle for the ages
I don't know.
by
I guess
his
that's fair. I don't
BFF,
really fucking
and thus
care.
the life of a legendary shinobi came to an end in the arms of his one true love. Or did it?
All right, this is gonna get pretty crazy, but just bear with me. Fearing a defeat in battle, Madara set a time-delayed jutsu that would posthumously rewrite reality and bring him back to life. And it worked! So Madara tricked another Uchiha, Obito, into witnessing
Okay, why are they doing all this shit to explain, bro, backstory? Like, have they done this before in their other videos? This shit just seems excessive.
his best friend murdering his
Like,
other
no
best
disrespect,
friend.
but fuck.
And he tasked Obito with manipulating the world into another war. Meanwhile, he gave his own Rinnegan to Nagato with the goal of getting it back after he was brought back to life the second time with the outer path because he died again. Make sense?
Nah, that'll never work.
You're right, it didn't. So Obito went out and got the Rinnegan back from Nagato's corpse because he died. Then Kabuto
Look at this
brought
man
Makura
boomstick looking at Wiz, bro. That's how I feel right now. Like, bro, What the fuck are you talking about? Calm
back to
down.
life, and he got his eyes back from Obito after some backstabbing. Then he sealed the awakened Ten Tails within himself in order to gain ultimate power and create the world's greatest nap time ever.
All right, pass
Look
your ass
what
out.
you
Go to
people
sleep.
have done to him.
He did that to himself,
You'd
bro.
think Ten Tails' power
Fuck.
would be awesome, but those stinky 8 balls of doom are so lame.
Don't let their size fool you. These truth-seeking orbs are in another league. The Ten Tails is strong enough to wipe continents off.
10 Tails Jinjuriki, improve your generation, 6 pass Senjutsu, choose seeking balls, in release, matter creation. Ooh, matter creation. Ooh, like that shit. Lightning dispatch, yang release, life creation. Ooh, they doing their fucking research. And flight.
Off the map, and the orbs can be shaped into weapons that will completely disintegrate anything they come into contact with. Not even ninja.
Oh, they're already doing better than Idea Shock did in his first video. Because they already have these truth-seeking balls disintegrating shit. That's way better.
Edo Tensei like Minato could regenerate limbs lost to the truth-seeking orbs, which means they had to erase his literal spirit itself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another way you can argue these truth-seeking balls erase like your spirit or your soul is because they completely erase chakra from existence, seemingly. And chakra as a substance is spiritual and physical in nature. So obviously to erase it from fucking existence, right? You would have to be erasing some spiritual aspect of reality. So, yeah.
His power was so insane,
I do think
he was
these shits
considered
destroy
comparable
souls,
to
in
the
my personal
original
opinion.
Sage of Six Paths, the dude
I don't
who
even know
helped
why that's so
create the
contentious.
frickin' moon.
And when Madara created
what did they
meteors,
just
they
say?
were large enough to show up.
Who was so insane, he was considered comparable to the original Sage of Six Paths, the
Okay.
dude who helped create the frickin' moon.
Okay,
And when
so since they're saying he's comparable to Hagoromo, this leads me to believe that they're gonna mention Kaguya's feats in some capacity, or else why would they mention that? Because I feel like the only line of scaling we have for Hagoromo, besides him creating the moon, is that he was the first person to battle and seal Kaguya, so he likely scales to her. Therefore, he likely scales to feats like her ETSO and her dimension creation feats. So I think they're going to place Madara at like a large planetary through potentially star level range in this video. I do think it's rare for Death Battle or for really any channel to place Naruto at star level. Even though I do think it's one of his best lines of scaling, but I do think it's possible just because they're saying Madara is comparable to Hagoromo.
When Madara created meteors, they were large enough to show up against the curvature of the Earth. Measuring their size and estimating the height at which Madara lifted them, they'd have to possess a potential energy of at least 372 petatons of TNT.
He was even fast enough to keep up with 8 Gates guy, who kicked hard enough to
I think I might have scaled that higher in my video, actually. I think I got it to like moon level. I think 372 petatons is multi-continental. Yeah, I think I might have got that one higher in my video.
Madara
But
even
I'm not
has
too
an
sure.
attack where he hawks light speed loogies.
Considering even base Madara has displayed speeds on par with Light Timing Ninja, we know Ten Tails Madara would have to be significantly faster thanks to the Ten Tails' power.
Yes, sir.
With
So they're essentially just blatantly saying that Madara should just be significantly faster in light within his 10-tail state. Whereas in later videos, I mean earlier videos, they said that he's like just now approaching light speed as a god.
Actually, no one left to oppose him. Madara's plot was finally in the endgame. He awakened the Rin Sharingan, and with
Feats.
the god
Successfully cast the infinite Tsukuyomi. All right. Summoned a giant fortress around the world. Oh, summoned a giant forest around the world. So they're referring to the God Tree. Okay. That leads me to believe they're going to talk about the God Tree's KE and how much energy it took him to move this shit around the world. Which is another pretty high feat for Naruto. I think it's like planetary or large planetary or something of that nature. Created the Valley of the End in battle. Endured an assault from every tailed beast at once. The tailed beast being like large island level through multi-continental beings. Kurama himself potentially being planetary or potentially being higher. Like they're insane arguments for the tailed beast, right? But for now, we'll just say he's like planetary at the most. Fought Hashirama for 24 hours straight. Survived Night Guy, which can be in space. Match Sage of Six Paths, Naruto, and Sasuke. Right? So this is another thing that leads me to believe they're going to mention Kaguya in some capacity. Because obviously Kaguya was also relative to Six Paths, Sage Mode, Naruto, and Sasuke.
God tree summoned, he cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, spreading the tree's roots across the entire planet and capturing every single person in the world. This would enslave all of humanity in an endless dream world, free of conflict forever. Peace through total domination.
Manipulating this tree with his chakra would have involved physically spreading its roots through and around
Okay, so they are going to mention it, yeah.
in mere moments. Estimating the tree's mass and the speed at which the roots were moved, his chakra must have released an energy exceeding 1 yotaton of TNT.
See, that's
And
blatantly
this was
large
with
planetary
just
right
one
there.
jutsu. Is there a character?
The near lightning speed of the god tree's roots is consistent with them blitzing ninja like Kakashi and Kurama Chakra Mode Naruto, who could react to lightning. Seth the programmer is somewhere pissed. They just stole this whole fucking argument. Oh my god.
Character that could possibly even touch Madara Uchiha?
All right, bro. I gotta see the Seth debunk to this. I know he said something about this shit right here. I know he did.
Kishimoto himself didn't even know. Madara's power was so overwhelming, the only thing that could take him down was treachery.
Even the man
Shit,
with
what's the
magic
plot?
eyes
Fuck you
couldn't see
mean?
that coming.
All that was left was his old friend Hashirama, there to comfort him in his final moments.
Just like Romeo and Juliet. For never was there a story of more woe than this of Hashirama and his Madabro.
Shut the
I
fuck
read it
up.
in iambic pentameter.
Is there a gas leak in here?
Probably. That man
Now
geeking.
the real fun begins.
All right, so now we're moving on to
The
Aizen.
Soul Society was in chaos. One of its leading Shinigami was set to be executed under suspicious circumstances. A band of humans from the living world had invaded to save her, and Sosuke Aizen, captain of the 5th Division of the Gotei 13, was dead.
Fucking
Murdered.
dead.
What dastardly mastermind could have been behind all this? He'd have to be a galaxy-brained 5D chess master.
The man responsible was, in fact, Sosuke Aizen.
Little is known about the man's past,
All right.
only that he
We gonna go over bro biography too. I know how this shit works. All right, so full name, Sosuke Aizen. Age, hundreds of years old. Height, 6'1". Already not looking too good for Madara. I feel like he finna beat his ass just by the height. Weight, 163 specimen Shinigami, or species Shinigami. Let's just play the video.
that he isn't a man.
Former captain of the
a human
Gotei
man,
13's
but a
50
soul reaper.
These Shinigami are spiritual beings who ferry lost souls to the afterlife and purify those who have turned evil in the living world.
They're badass anime wizard Grim Reaper swordsmen. Though Aizen himself was hardly that cool. I mean, just look at those glasses. Dork.
But this Clark Kent was harboring a secret. Aizen had spent years attempting to develop the means to ultimate power, ruining the lives of many of his colleagues via his twisted experiments.
Oh, so when Aizen does it, he's a supervillain. But when you do it to me, it's shut the hell up, Boomstick. You're under NDA, and I know about the stuff you've done.
As a Shinigami, Aizen's body is made of Reishi, being spirit matter, and empowered by Raryoku, being spirit energy. Entities made of Reishi are completely invisible to anyone without specific supernatural awareness, though a
sir.
Shinigami body is still tangible and can be damaged normally.
And
Can
with his
it?
Ray
Is that true? I didn't know that. I didn't know bodies composed of reishi could be interactive with. I
energy,
thought they were
Aizen
like
can
ghosts.
create incredibly powerful blasts. He's so strong, weaker beings will literally
Oh, here comes the
disintegrate
soul
him if they
crushing.
get
Yes,
too
sir.
close to him.
This is due to his Reiatsu, a localized spiritual pressure exerted as a result of his enormous power.
He also knows tons of Keto, or spells. He can create force fields, bend the light around him to make him impossible to detect, fire concentrated.
All right, let's just read some of his abilities. Invisibility, reishi manipulation, incredible ryatsu, kido, hakuda, shunpu, zanjutsu, whatever the fuck that is. Now I gotta read Spanish words? You got me fucked up. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna say it. Milon escudo. Something. Byaku kudo. Hado. Byaku kudo 81. Hado 90, which is Kurohitsuji, or Black Coffin or whatever. Hado 99. Don't even know what the fuck that is. Let's just play a show.
Bolts of
Oh, and
lightning
obviously
and
Kyoko Segetsu. All right, they did list it. Soul cutting sword and complete hypnosis. That's all they have to say about it? Seriously?
absorb the energy from his surroundings to make giant-ass energy dragons.
Perhaps his deadliest Kido is Kurohitsugi. After an extensive incantation, Aizen surrounds his target in an enormous black coffin that distorts space and time and tears its victims apart.
Aizen's plotting finally came to fruition during the invasion of the Soul Society, where he faked his death using his greatest weapon, his Zampato, Kyoka Suigetsu.
A Shinigami Zampato is a magical sword that possesses a sentient spirit. Kyoka Suigetsu gives Aizen complete control over his victim's senses the instant they lay eyes on the sword.
It does seem to affect more than just your 5 basic senses to him. It seems he can also like warp your perception of time and shit of that nature. So, like he did with Ewok towards the end of the series.
This complete hypnosis traps its victims in a nearly perfect illusion that Aizen can manipulate at will, making himself virtually immune to attacks while his opponents are sitting ducks.
It's so strong that it kept a group of ex-Soul Reapers known as the Visored trapped for over 100 years without them even knowing it. It's one of the most broken powers ever and the definition of anime bullshit.
But I mean, have y'all seen the end of Bleach? Y'all seen what that nigga Ewok got? That's the definition of anime bullshit right there. That's
all worth
stupid.
it when he perfected his ultimate creation,
goddamn.
the Hogyoku. An immensely powerful reality-warping device that, quote,
Although the Hogyoku itself has no explicit limits, the amount of power it grants to the person is dedicated to the wielder's will. The moment their will falters, the Hogyoku will reject the wielder, which is true, although you can argue that's not necessarily what happened with Aizen at the end of his fight with Ichigo. You could argue that Aizen himself just wanted to lose that bitch, or something of that nature, and so the Hogyoku made him realize his truest desire,
quote, materializes,
which was to take the L.
wishes.
In Aizen's case, it realized his desire to become the strongest being in the
Hogyoku materializes the wielder's wishes, evolves Aizen to boost his power, nullifies previous weaknesses, regeneration, Ryatsu, indetectable to weaker Shinigami, Fragor, and Ultra Fragor. So Ryatsu, indetectable to weaker Shinigami, is not just an aspect of the Hogyoku. It seems to just be an aspect of like transcending as a Shinigami. So just entering a transcendent state is enough to where your Ryatsu cannot be detected by weaker Shinigami. Because we know this because Ichigo's Ryatsu was not sensible to Aizen, even though he does not have the Hogyoku. So yeah.
in the universe. With it, he can heal any of his wounds, even when half his body is vaporized. And more importantly, it exponentially increases his power over time through evolution by turning him into a horrifying butterfly monster man.
A being eventually strong enough to dethrone and replace the Soul King, the deity that controls the cosmic balance.
I mean, do you ever really do that, though? I feel like if you're going to just scale him to the Soul King, you should really just like bring up him fighting Ewok or something like that, who absorbed the Soul King and was acting as like sort of the linchpin between these three worlds or something like that.
Even a minor disruption to the Soul King's influence led to the three worlds of Earth, the Soul Society, and Hueco
Okay, so they're all going to mention the Soul King being the linchpin of the three worlds, but once again, I feel like it's better to scale him to Ewok if you're going to use this line of scaling for Aizen.
physically collapsing.
Then it
But
implies
it's fine.
that the Soul King has
It
to
all
be
works the same, I
outputting
guess.
enough energy to hold all these places together at all times.
Considering each should be roughly the same size, this would require...
Okay,
an
also, I forgot to mention. So, obviously, their interpretation of the three worlds in Bleach is that they're planets. Obviously, there's different interpretations. A lot of people see them as universes. Some people see them being all three together make up the one universe. So they're like multi-galactic bodies or something like that. But obviously here they're just interpreting them as worlds. So keep that in mind.
energy of over 100...
I personally like the idea of the Soul Society and the world of the living being half of the universe, as Rukia described it at the beginning of the series. So the world of the living is a multi-galactic body or something of that nature, and the Soul Society is parallel to that, being the other half of the universe. And Hueco Mundo is just sort of this separate body created by the Soul King, I guess.
140 zetatons of TNT.
Aizen is powerful enough to
143 zetatons. I think that's like planetary plus. It's not large planetary. I believe the Yodaton range is large planetary, and zetatons is just like planet level to planet level plus, which I don't know. I guess that's true.
Vaporized mountains.
I haven't really seen any calcs for like holding the worlds together. More so just destroying all three of them. And a lot of the time in those calcs, the worlds were being interpreted as fucking universes, right? So
The side effect of a sword swing. His casual energy blasts can disintegrate huge chunks of the earth, and he can take on armies with just his Ryatsu alone.
He even defeated the rest of the Gote 13 without so much as breaking a sweat.
So he should be way stronger than Soul
I
Society.
just wish they would show the calc. They sort of just give like the jewel value or the TNT value without like throwing up the full calc on the screen. But
hitters like Kenpachi, who sliced this 120-kilometer wide asteroid to pieces.
That's right.
the asteroid size was calculated by comparing it to the. I can't even read that because this shit is right here. A barrier that covers all of the Seritere, which has a 30%, which had 30% of its size stated to be 200 or 100 kilometers, thus making its total size 333 kilometers.
That's roughly the width of Great Britain. An
Okay, so
asteroid
he's
of this
dropping a
size would have
fucking
to carry
country
a
on you.
kinetic energy of at least 44 petatons of TNT.
And
Yes,
Aizen
sir.
was so badass, he literally
44
trans-
petatons is like multi-continental. So they have Madara's meteors and fucking Grimmy's meteors outputting similar amounts of energy.
transcended other Shinigami in power. He was in a whole other dimension from the
And Grimmy's meteor is kind of fodder. Kenpachi cut that shit in half. Like no difficulty. Aizen should scale massively above it. So
rest of them.
Until he fought Ichigo Kurosaki.
The battle we've all been waiting for. Way before this in the Soul Society arc, Ichigo was already as fast as lightning. And by
what
this-
that man was way faster than lightning at this point. Let's be honest. So they already doing worse on Bleach than they did on Naruto right off the bat. These niggas got Ichigo at lightning speed in the same arc that way weaker characters than him dodge light from the fucking Nagashino. Like, come on,
By
bro.
this point, after all his power boosts, he'd even be faster than light. Hell, even weaker characters like this lady can dodge light beams.
Though their
Numerous
fight-
characters have dodged light way before this. Like in the Soul Society arc, the Nagashino, a beam of light dodged by lieutenant level captains, Ichigo one-shotted. So
was epic. Ichigo
even like Ceros are stated to be light, right? So you could argue that even substitute Soul Reaper Ichigo way back at the beginning of the series was light speed because he was reacting
had
to these
transcended
Ceros.
the Shinigami as well. And even
So
Aizen
they're doing way
himself,
worse on Bleach
feeding
already.
upon his
This shit is-
insecurities, the Hogyoku abandoned Aizen, who was quickly defeated and imprisoned
Also,
within the
if they're scaling this nigga to the Soul King, why don't they just blatantly say, "Oh, he's stronger than Yamamoto, who threatened to burn the world to ash" or some shit like that?
bottommost level of the Soul Society's prison.
Like it's way
Aizen
easier
was like
to
the-
get Aizen the planetary than they're making it. They're like comparing him to like the Soul King, god of the
Low.
series for some
His
reason.
great power he sacrificed so much to achieve was gone forever.
Or was it? Somehow he ended up getting even stronger than before. But what made him so strong? Could it be the chair?
It's not the chair.
It's not the chair.
Could theoretically be due to the chair's restraints keeping his Ryatsu from properly releasing, building it up within him until he was stronger in base than he was at his previous max.
I don't know. It might be just be the Hogyoku evolving his shit. It seems to just continuously do that over time. So I would assume it's that. Nothing to do with the fucking chair they have him strapped to. But
Nah, it's definitely the chair. And, since the chair could still hold him after he got stronger, wouldn't that make it even stronger than him? Even stronger than the Soul King?
Yes.
All hail the mighty Chair-sama, most powerful being in all of Bleach. He even managed to hold his own against the Quincy
Beats.
warlord Yua.
survived Ichigo's final Getsuga Tensho only due to the Hogyoku evolving him though. Endured incineration from his own Ryatsu. Okay? Moves FTE to top tier Shinigami who are fucking light speed. Okay? Fine. Stopped a Hado from Taisei. Caught Ichigo's Bankai with his finger. One shot a being immune to Ryatsu. Matched Soul King Ewok in combat. This is what they should have just mentioned for him being like being a threat to the three worlds, him matching Soul King Ewok in combat. Defeated the Gote 13, the Visors, Urahara, and Ichigo.
Yua, who absorbed the power of the Soul King himself. He even used Kyoka Suigetsu to trick him. And Yuha's a dude who can literally see every possible future.
Yes,
on
sir. All right. But I believe his eyes were fucking closed, so it doesn't
At the
matter.
same time, all according to Keikaku, bitches.
And after standing among
Like,
the
I think
gods,
bro's eyes were literally fucking closed when he was fighting Aizen. So that's the reason he was caught in Kyoko Sogetsu. Ewok is a very cocky motherfucker. So he won't go all out at the beginning of fights. He likes to enjoy his battles. You'd think that nigga's Goku, but yeah. And that's how I think he was caught in Kyoko Sogetsu. Otherwise, that shit probably wouldn't work on him, considering he can see futures.
gods themselves, Aizen returned to captivity and pondered the meaning of his existence.
Even trapped in a prison, sealed off in a different...
Unless you think Kyoko Sogetsu is some all-powerful illusion shit that can manipulate how you perceive all future realities or some stupid shit like that. I personally don't see it like that.
With a
but yeah,
20,000 year
I think it's just control over
the most
your
dangerous
senses and your
being in
perception.
the world.
Who knows what schemes are brewing behind those cold, calculating eyes? No compassion, no empathy, only the drive for power.
No one has ever stood at the top. Neither you nor me. From now on, I alone will stand at the top.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just gonna predict who I have winning because I think it's just blatantly Madara at this point. Just because they have this nigga at 1 Yoda ton of TNT large planetary, and they barely got bro right here to like 143 zetatons. And they have him being way faster than light speed characters, and they have him being just now being faster than light due to multiplication or some stupid shit. So I do think they just shit on Aizen in this video and didn't do him any justice at all and just really disrespected him. While they did sort of better for Madara while still lowballing him to an insane degree. Obviously, they did still improve on their bleach scaling though, because before they didn't have anybody at planetary. Go back and rewatch Naruto versus Bleach. They said Ewok, Kage, and them, none of them niggas are planetary. And essentially kept it to like a multi-continental range. It was pretty trash. So I do think this is
the bets
improvement.
are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
There are
But
no
first,
fucking
if you want
possibilities.
the confidence of an anime supervillain, check out Blue Chew.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Chew.
The secret to, well, pretty much
Okay.
anything is...
We've encountered our first problem in the video. I am not sponsored by these niggas Blue Chew. They getting skipped.
No!
This man Madara,
You
bro.
can see me.
I can see everything.
He just immediately wanted to smoke. It do sound like Aizen.
Did you
Because he
see
saw
that?
you? Flash that your dumb ass. Okay, so I will say, I hope Ichigo versus Naruto does not look like this shit with Seth. I don't mind this though. This looks fine to me.
Drown in despair!
God damn. Okay, so Aizen won.
From a human.
Oh, okay, I forgot we did this. It wasn't this insane. It was not to this insane degree in the manga or the anime until that nigga got Ten Tails ability though. That man just had his whole fucking body cut apart. Could Hashirama do that? Did he do that? I don't think he did.
Mere parlor tricks. Don't get so full of yourself. Hado 19, Kuro Hitsugi.
They got Aizen sounding like a dumbass. Damn, the Kuro Hitsugi kind of like dope. I don't know, that shit. That shit kind of like sick. Animators did they fucking thing with this one. Oh, he dropped the meteor. That's what that was. That bitch got cut. So I'm assuming they're gonna have Aizen involved again. This is not his final form. Here we go. Yeah.
Hado 99! Goryu Tenmetsu!
Limbo clones.
I love it. The thrill of battle, the pounding of my heart, the taste of my own blood. I love it!
Then why did you want to save the world? Like, I don't get it. You want to end all war, but you love war?
You almost had me there, you tricky bastard.
Nothing escapes my illusions, human. Know your place.
Had that motherfucker in Kyoko Sugetsu the whole time. Oh, so did Madara lose? Oh shit, Oh. No, he was really losing. Goddamn. That did not kill Aizen.
Wonderful dance.
That didn't kill Aizen. That wouldn't have killed Aizen. Aizen's immortal. He got hit with Final Getsuga. Didn't he get his body vaporized? Well, I guess you could argue like true seeking orbs are existence erasure, but they kind of just gave Madara too much in this fight for it to be fair.
Of course,
anyway.
Madara won.
Like they kind of just shit on Aizen this whole fight. I'm not gonna say who I think wins in this one just because I think it's very contentious, and I can make my own video discussing this, right? And it would be dope as fuck. But I do think they weren't fair to Aizen in this one at all, like at all. Aizen has way better fucking pieces.
For his 5D chess plan, well, Aizen only fake died once.
Aizen and Madara were extremely evenly matched in raw power and speed. By our calculations, Madara spreading the God Tree's roots with his chakra was about 7 times more powerful than the best that Aizen could scale to with his rare Yoku.
Yes, sir. But if you'll remember, a 7 times difference in power, according to Verse Battle Wiki, is like a one-shot difference, apparently.
Both ended up being roughly as fast as each other.
Well, there are a range of possible feats and numbers to go with to determine their limits. The point is, they're
exactly
always going to be close to even.
Which means
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
The main thing that mattered here were their powers and how they countered each other.
So where they were really just trying to give off normie answers for attack potency and speed, and pretty much just go with hacks and be like, okay, that's sort of the deciding factor in this video, which I think is fine. And since I do think Madara and Aizen, and essentially just Bleach and Naruto in general, are very close in power and speed a lot of the times.
Enormous variety of abilities eventually overwhelmed Aizen.
While Soul Reapers like Aizen may be invisible to regular people, the Rinnegan allowed Madara to see invisible spiritual beings like his own Limbo clones.
They're not just fucking spiritual either. They exist within like different dimensions. So it's like a form of, I would like interdimensional sensing or interdimensional sight. So I do think they would be able to see these ghosts who exist on the same plane, let alone
the Rinnegan lets you see and
different beings that exist in different dimensions.
That's exactly what a Soul Reaper is.
Both chakra and rare Yoku utilized spirit energy and operated in similar ways, being formed into attacks like ninjutsu and kido. That meant that Madara's ability to absorb ninjutsu allowed him to nullify the vast majority of Aizen's range attacks and even dispel his force fields.
And despite how OP Aizen's complete hypnosis was, Sharingan users can break out of...
That's kind of... Okay, so if we're going to go with Madara can sort of neg his abilities, I could argue Aizen might be able to do the same thing if he evolves enough via the Hogyoku. Because in Bleach, since we're equalizing power systems here, since Death Battle is clearly equalizing power systems, in Bleach, once you are just blatantly stronger than somebody, right? Somebody blowing up my line. Once you're just blatantly stronger than somebody, You do gain all sort of resistance from their attacks. Their attacks can no longer affect you, as stated by Aizen himself.
Break out of illusions no sweat, even ones as powerful as Itachi's Tsukuyomi. And since Madara can switch between the Rinnegan and the Sharingan at will, he'd be able to break out of an illusion anytime he wanted.
Aizen's illusions are nearly perfect, but fellow Captain Unohana was able to
Sorry about that.
perceptive as the Sharingan, which can spot imperfections in genjutsus all the time, it was only inevitable that Madara would be able to quickly break out.
However, the same couldn't be said for Aizen, who never showed any resistance to the kind of mental illusions Madara can create.
What the
Even
fuck?
setting illusions aside, the
Alright, so Death Battle just really hoed Aizen with this one. They really just said that nigga has no fucking like way to get around illusions. Even though his whole gimmick is illusions. Didn't he even make fun of Shinji for having like a knockoff version of his Kyoko Segetsu and then just shit on it?
The sheer quantity of offensive options at Madara's disposal, whether it be his clones, meteors, or monsters summoned by the Rinnegan, kept Aizen constantly on the back foot.
But none of that mattered if they couldn't kill each other, and both had pretty insane healing factors that could recover.
I think Aizen is just blatantly immortal, right? I thought he just couldn't die. I thought that was his whole plot. He just motherfucker can't die. I had to seal him.
From just about anything.
Maybe they're just too weak to kill him. Who knows?
8 balls of doom.
Madara's truth-seeking orbs were capable of completely molecularly annihilating spiritual beings and preventing them from regenerating.
Okay. Okay, they're essentially just gonna say the truth-seeking balls can kill him.
Again, Aizen was a spiritual being.
Since Aizen lacked the ability to do the same irreversible damage to Madara, the ghost of the Uchiha had exactly what he needed to put this actual.
He wouldn't need to do that like irreversible. Like he. I guess you have to argue he has the attack potency to do this, but you can literally just kill Madara if you just do enough damage. Bro ain't completely immortal. You feel me?
Down for good.
Like if bro is vaporized on like the molecular level, bro is done. All right.
Aizen was an
Or if he's
unbelievably
sealed.
overpowered
Does
foe,
Aizen have
but
any seals
Madara's
on this
own
motherfucker?
powers, illusions, and devastating truth-seeking orbs allowed him to crush the ex-Shinigami.
Sosuke should have kept his Aizen the prize. And,
Do you feel any shame at all?
moderately. Ha!
At least they
Double
didn't bring up the infinite Tsukuyomi because that doesn't work on Ghost. Surprisingly. It didn't work on the Edo Tenseis, so I don't know why it would work on Aizen's dead ass either. So I'm just glad they didn't mention that.
Suck it, Wiz.
The winner is Madara Uchiha.
Okay. I don't want to say I agree or disagree with this one, with the conclusion of this one, but I definitely do disagree with what was said in the video. I think I've covered pretty much everything that I wanted to discuss. So this will be the end of episode 2 to my reaction debunk series. It is finally done. I hope to see you guys here back again with Luffy versus Naruto part 2 when we react to Idea Shock's video. So yeah. Bye. I don't fucking know.